So what you're going to want to do before you redo your belts is replace these run capacitors. Got this one replaced. Going to replace this one now. You need to take out that, I'll just loosen up this, this little screw here. Pop it out, and you can pop this out. Right. Notice the different colors. Make note of that so that you put them exactly in the same spot on your new run capacitor. Here's a new run capacitor. Titan Pro 4 microfarads. There you go. Place all of those and put your covers back on. Here we have a Hatchrite roller tray, and you notice that all the belts are missing. This isn't in too bad a shape. It's a little bit cut up here, but these rollers seem like they're in pretty good shape. Nice thing about these rollers is if they are a bit cut up at this end from the roller, see there's a little bit of cut up there. What you could do is just flip them over and put on one side and the other. The only one that this doesn't work with is, unfortunately, is with this driver here, but it's not in too bad a shape, so it should last us quite a bit longer. First thing we need to do is remove all these little screws here. Don't lose those if you're making a trip to the hardware store. So one of these, and then you just need to pry off these little plastic things carefully. You don't want to bend them. Nice and easy. These gaskets work as kind of separators. All right. And then all we need to do is lift it up. Comes right off, and on the other end, it also comes right out. We're not going to have to do that. We're going to need 7 of these belts. They're Hoover belts. I'll put a link in down at the bottom to where you could get these, and you're just going to thread those on and then reattach all the belts on and your plastic spacers right on, and then we're just going to screw that back on. Right, I have flipped this over so that our rollers are on top. Now the first thing before you do anything is I want you to take a permanent marker or a pencil or whatever. This is stainless steel. And mark where all these bolts should go, because you don't want to have to measure again unless you were adjusting the size of these rollers. And on that side, and also on this side. So that way, when we remove all of these screws, they're able to move back and forth, and then you know exactly where to set them again. Okay, so on the belt side, we're going to remove every one of these screws. And on the other side, we're just going to loosen them so they can be moved around. Unless you're going to flip them over, then you'd want to remove the whole thing, but we're not going to be flipping them over, so we're just going to loosen them on the far side. So I've got all these moved over. I got one of these out, and we're going to put a belt on here. Now it's very important how you put this belt on, either this way or on this way, as long as it's the same on every single one. Don't be switching them over. They all go on the same way. So in every one of these, you've got a bar, and then you've got a hardware attachment. Goes in, it's got a little hole. Sets in a little hole. If I can see, like that. Goes on the outside. Nuts go on the outside. See those? So they could just come right out. So notice how I have this belt on. It's very tight, and it takes some finesse to get the belt and the screws back over where you want them to be. But the most important, very important, that every single one loops around the same way. Here's the second one on. Exactly looped around exactly the same way. This top to the back. All right. So now that I got all the belts on in all the same direction, I'm gonna put all the screws, move all these where I need them to be. And this is gonna take a little brute strength and finessing. Get these all straightened around and with the belts, and then I'll put the screws back on and tighten it all down. They're all screwed back in. All the belts are on. Make sure they're all in the right same direction. Now this thing is heavy, and we're gonna have to get it back in the incubator.